We're back. First it was MySpace, now it's Facebook, text messaging, all these things that make our life easier to communicate with other people could run afoul with our marriages and relationships. Dr. Corey Gonzales in with us this morning. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Kiyoshi. How are you?
I'm very good. So let's talk about this. Facebook, how is it helping or hurting marriages?
Well, it can certainly hurt and be a threat to marriages. You know, you think about it, the internet and social networking creates a lot of opportunities to bring people together, but ironically, it can also just as easily pull relationships apart. You know, there's some studies that show that opportunity is correlated with infidelity. And the internet and social media brings up so many more opportunities for people. There's virtually 500 million people on Facebook. So there's a lot more opportunities out there. And think about how—
anonymous too.
Yeah, anonymous. And think about how easy it is to look up an old flame now. You just simply type in their name. So there's about 1 in 5 marriages now they say is due to divorces, they're due to Facebook. We've talked a lot about protecting children from the internet. It's time we have a serious discussion about protecting our marriages from this stuff.
And relationships. Let's put some rules we have on your, we can put on your screen right now. The first one, don't neglect your relationship.
Right. We don't want to neglect our relationship. We want to remember that we still need, tactile touch, face-to-face time. We need to prioritize our relationship and not just how many people we have friended in our Facebook. But we need to sit down and make some sensible rules about what we're doing here as a couple and talk about these things, such as, do we friend the opposite sex? Do we friend ex-lovers, which I don't think is really a good idea? Do we friend strangers?
Right. And time limits. That's the next tip that we want to put on the screen. How much time are you spending online? Because one of the things you just brought up is, how much time are you spending with somebody else when you should be spending that time with the person you're in a relationship with, right?
We need to put some parameters on this when we do this. Maybe not after 9 o'clock, not at dinner time, certainly not on a date, or we're doing something meaningful or intimate. We've got to put some parameters and make sure we prioritize our relationships.
What about trust? Do you give your spouse or your girlfriend or boyfriend your login to your Facebook page?
I think so. I think if you're in a monogamous, committed relationship, it should be transparent. We should have our login code together so that there's no secrets involved, so that we can have access to these things and not have any secrets involved. I think it's a good idea.
And last question, what is your motivation? That's one of the questions you got to ask.
Yeah, you have to think about what your motivation is for doing this stuff. I mean, are you trying to get attention? Are you trying to get emotional connection? Are you trying to get some kind of sexual attention or something? Try to get those needs met in your relationship, because the reality is this stuff is different from a real relationship. You have to understand for what it is. It's a conduit to meeting people, but it is not going to meet all your needs.
And you have to define what is an emotional affair. It may not necessarily always be physical anymore. It could be an emotional affair. You're cheating on your spouse or your partner by spending all this other time with them.
You could be sitting in the same room, chatting with someone, having an affair, and your wife don't even know. Think about, people can contact you in a private account. Most everybody has a cell phone now, right? And used to be, you had to call the house. So people can sit there and text right to each other. So it's important to have transparency about this, have trust. And you should defriend anybody that's a threat or not supportive to your relationship. Be very careful about sarcasm and flirting, because when you get these nonverbal, out-of-context situations, all that stuff can be really misrepresented.
Turn into a big deal. Dr. Corey Gonzales in with us this morning. Thank you so much. Interesting stuff.
Always a pleasure, Kiyoshi.
Always a pleasure. All right, we're going to take another quick break. We'll be right back.